weather is still not better, but that's also kind of not what we expected. You know, this is adventure. We left the city of Riga quite some time ago now, but it still kind of took forever, as it's a quite huge city. And now we're driving through this scenic, idyllic nature of Latvia. Lots of forest, and every now and then you see a little village, and you're not even sure, is there still people living there, or did they just not tear it down yet, you know? Sometimes you really can't be sure. Other cities though, or villages, they look pretty and very much alive. I don't know, there's not really that much to show, as you can see, but as soon as there is, we will show you, of course. Never judge a book by its cover, is what they say. So we could judge the whole Latvia based on Riga alone, but that wouldn't make any sense. So we wanted to know what the rest of Latvia, or like a little bit of another scenery in Latvia looks like, which is why we went to a city called Cesis. And now we're already in some kind of park that belongs to the castle of Cesis, which is over there. We have a church in this direction and the ruins of the Cesis Castle in this direction, as you can obviously see. This is actually a very famous castle. It is a very well-known and well-preserved castle from the medieval times here in Latvia. And it actually also has a German name, like this city and this castle, which is Venden. Venden, like turning around, you know, the U-turn. I don't know. I think Cesis sounds a little bit better than Venden. Nice. And still a lot actually preserved and also maintained. As you can see, there's a little bit of a scaffolding there, because it is very, very old. In fact, over 800 years. It was built in the time of the Livonian Crusades by the Livonian Brothers of the Sword, which is quite a fancy name, honestly. It also was destroyed like a few times. There was one event when Ivan the Terrible, I think his name was, attacked this fort in, I think it was 1577. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I'll correct myself when I'm wrong by putting the actual year here. And over 300 of the people inside of this castle committed mass suicide by basically blowing up all the gunpowder. Looks a bit like some gunpowder went off there, doesn't it? Yeah, but anyway, as you can see, they're still taking good care of it. Here's also a huge wooden scaffolding holding this tower in place and preserving the history around here in Cesis. Venden. Magst du Ruinen? Burgruinen?
Yeah.
Yeah? He's smiling. He likes... well, he's shaking his head. He's shaking his head and he's smiling. Maybe he mocks me for liking Latvia so much. What I actually wanted to ask, which name do you think is better? Cesis or Venden? Venden is the German name of the city, and this is Burg Venden.
Cesis.
Right?
It's original.
Yeah.
Original, we like.
We don't like Germans. Nobody likes Germans, you know? Everybody is always celebrating how they defeated the Germans.
Yeah, here in Soviet places we do.
Yes, the Great Patriotic War.
Yeah.
And all of that. Maybe we'll also see something more on this, but I kind of doubt it. This is, you know, that has been way before. But probably even in those times they didn't like the Germans. Also, there is this big thing behind this bridge that we're just passing, which already looks like some kind of stage. And it actually is a stage. Like, they actually do some music festivals and similar activities here. Of course not in that weather. But yeah, this whole part here with those steps is apparently also for their performances and not to sit. Instead, people stand here Very nice and spacious park once again here, which probably also looks fantastic in the springtime or summertime, with all of those trees giving a little bit of an extra touch to this historical site, and also maybe covering this, well, also kind of historical site. Yeah, not really the nicest site. We don't know what that is, maybe some old factory building. Stroller time is over, so maybe we can at least somehow fold the stroller and I'll carry it up the stairs, which would make things a little bit faster.
Definitely.
Yeah. Sadly, we also can't have any Bourbon Buffete. No Bourbon Buffete today. This part you can see behind me is the restored part of this castle, and in there's a museum where you can learn a little bit more about the history, and I think you can even access a little part that still has an inside from this part of the castle. We're going to take a look at the city instead. Telling us to go left. This is probably not going to focus, but it looks like some prison, some bunker, something like that.
Children.
There you go. It's once again the Germans. Holocaust and some victims from it. 1941.
Juris Jansson.
That's a lot of names. Huge lot of names.
Jans.
You just randomly stumble upon those things here. Lots of history and lots of bad history as well. You can also go visit that thing. There's a number that you can call, and then they will show you this prison, this bunker, whatever it is. When I say your name, I remember you. So that is what you hear through those speakers. They have some speakers here, one on this side and one on the other side where this door is. And every now and then, one after another, they say those names. Probably the same names that are also listed on those walls. So it's a project from 2019 to not forget those people who died here. It's always a bit grim, you know, putting those things into a travel vlog, but that is just what you stumble upon here in Cesis. Let's go walk along the street and hope that we find some, you know, more cheerful thing again. Those houses, though, look very much like those Belarusian village houses. And we have a church in this direction. At least we can see a church tower all the way here in the distance at this beautiful wooden house. And let's see what's here. I feel like we now made it to the city center as we're approaching another big monument, a big memorial again. I can't help but be a little bit reminded of Polotsk with this thing in the middle here and the long park, the long thing with the trees that you can walk along here. And then you have this old castle somewhere. I mean, yes, Polotsk has a cathedral. You never saw Polotsk on my channel. I'm sorry. Or maybe when you see this video, we already have a video about it. Who knows? But anyway, a little bit it does remind me of that, which is the city where she is from. Polotsk. Anyway, bye. See ya. I will quickly see what this building is. If it's something significant, because it has columns. You know how it goes. It's always those important buildings that have the columns. Or some Greek restaurant. There's only those two. Okay, it's a hotel and a restaurant. Hotel Cesis. Very nice. Let's find out what kind of view Hotel Cesis has. Okay, that's probably nice when you're here in, I say it all the time, in spring and summer. And you have a nice view on some other lake here, some other park. Isn't that something? Okay, now that we solved that mystery, let's find out what this monument is all about. I gotta say, like, yes, it's a little bit rainy, but it's not really cold. Like, I feel comfortable. I say that with this jacket on, of course. But, you know, I expected it to be worse for those days, honestly. Here it is, the monument. Let's find out what it's about. Or do you already know?
It's for something that happened in 1919 to 1920.
1990 to 1920, then it's probably the same as the one in Riga. Latvia wanted to gain their independence, or gained their independence, and all of those people who died there, you know, they have their memorial in Riga. So if you haven't seen my Riga video, go watch that one. And now, let's see what we can find out from the inscriptions of this thing. So far, not really anything. It's Latvian, I can't read that. As far as the Google translator was able to recognize the text over here, and as far as I understood the translation, it actually is as well for those who have died, who have fallen in the years of 1919 to 1920. So yes, this city has their own monument right here. Shout out to Arnold Uncharted, who really loves the one in Riga, by the way. So, bro, we found another one. Gotta go here. We left the city of Cesis and are now back into the direction of Riga, but we're gonna stop in another city, which is called Sigulda, and is about half an hour away from Cesis. I keep forgetting the name. At the first glance, it seems like we're somewhere out there in the wilderness with only this parking space that you can see. However, we're on the way to a castle, a palace. A palace. The Palace of Sigulda. And this right here is the entrance. Take a look at this thing right here. There's even a statue of a guy pointing at that. There's a few shopping booths over here. And there's two buildings and then the actual palace itself. But as you can see, it's not really the weather where people come here. Who would have thought? Well, more space for us. Lovely. That does not say anything about the quality of the experience we're going to have here. So let's take a look. There he is, the man who's pointing at this castle. There is this thing in the front, but there's also another ruin of a castle here behind this building.
You didn't show all the workshops. There is a ceramic one, there is a leather one, there is some other thing one, and then there is jewelry workshop. There's a jewelry made in Sigulda. Anyway, let's go.
It seems closed, but we can at least take a look. There we go, we can actually go to this Sigulda Castle of Livonian Order. Why are you stopping?
Because there is a trap. I know those. As soon as you step on this line, they activate the cut. It will cut you.
You think the big knife is going to come out of this thing on the side and it's going to...
That's how they protect
Got it.
castles.
Okay. So what do we have to do? Do we have to jump?
We have to not touch the red line.
Yeah, but how? You totally touched that.
Yeah, I tried not to.
Reasons why you should always take someone else on your journey. They should go through the traps first. Definitely with... Oh, wow, look at that. Definitely with children, of course. There's a little door that leads somewhere.
I'll check.
Perfect. She understood the assignment. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Now that is quite impressive, gotta say.
That's my throne.
Very big chair. And we have a wooden map here. Livonia. Look at that. It's been a while, probably, since it was called like that. We have Kurvland, We have Semigullen, I don't know. Haven't heard of those before.
Pretty sure this is UK. What is it doing here?
I don't know. I don't think that they captured UK and simply moved it there. We apparently have a good view here. Or are you defending the castle?
I'm defending the castle.
You're defending the castle. Perfect.
Yeah, it is a good view.
Very nice. That is a big stage. Yeah. They always somehow have those big stages in those places, as they also had in Cesis, where we just were. You have a question. I'm not sure if I can answer, but I'll try my best.
Is this the place to put people like this to hang? And is this the place to hang people?
About that first one, I'm not entirely sure.
It could be the...
It very well could be, yeah. The second one, I'm pretty sure is the one where you hang people, yeah. But why would they put it there and not to the stage? If it's such a spectacle.
Yeah, it should be more in front so we can see.
So if we now go down here, we can directly go to this courtyard and of course to this very important spot right here. You can't access it. They placed a fence here. It's totally inaccessible with this fence. And nobody ever tried to do that. Quite a lot of stone, quite massive. We're now in this courtyard. The entrance to this whole thing right there is 250, so you really can't complain. This whole shape here with the, I don't know, maybe it was the chapel or something, but you know, has this kind of roof and it's still noticeable here that it once looked something like that. There is a wooden walkway that leads us on the other side of this building. So from now, here, you can see the thickness of all of those walls and how it, well, approximately looked on the inside. They do have some wooden stairs. They do have some wooden stairs in this direction, so somehow you can still access this place. We march onwards to the tower. Whoop. Here, there's the tower. Let's take a look. All right, let's go. How convenient would that have been for the guards? Yes, that didn't exist back then. Okay, I have to go up here alone. There you go. This is now level 4. Okay, we have a little statue right here with the Gauja River and 3 castles. 1 on this side and 2 on that side of the Gauja River. This one that we see right here is the one where we are currently at. So when we're here on this tower, which is this guy here, we should be able to see a castle on this direction and a castle in that direction. And here we are on the highest floor. It has to be floor number 6 or 7 now. And here we have a window that goes in every direction. Let me tell you, the view is absolutely amazing. Very nice. Going up here was worth it, I tell you. Going here in general was worth it. Not skipping the city. Sigulda, I tell you, have to go here. I feel like that's kind of it. It was very nice to see all of that, and the views on this place, they're spectacular. We're now going to leave behind the castle and the new castle and go back to Riga. However, I really have to say it was nice to see a little bit more of Latvia than just the capital city, because as already said in the beginning, I don't think that only seeing the capital city says that much about a country. But now we've seen a little bit more, and I'm glad we did, because those views, incredible, really. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that as well. And with that being said, let's get out of here.